What happened in the world of crypto this week? Well, here to talk with me about that is Peter Gantner from TruBadger. Peter, welcome.
Hey, Robert, how are you?
I'm great. It's great to have you back talking about what happened in the world of crypto.
Well, I love the subject. So it's incredible what's happening in the space.
Yeah, I know that you eat, breathe, and sleep it. So since that's the case, let me ask about a current event that I think is at least top of my mind. It was in the papers today. Talks about how cryptocurrency companies want to tap into the Federal Reserve payment system that traditional banks use to move money around quickly, but the banks are pushing back. What gives?
Yeah, the biggest issue right now with crypto that's slowing it down, and I think that's all the banks are trying to do is slow it down. They know. Remember last week we talked about the survey that was done. 74% of the people believe that traditional money's going away, right? That we're going to go to digital currency. So I think what the banks are doing right now is saying, let's slow it down. Let's pump the brakes, keep it difficult to get into crypto. And if you've listened to anything that I've done, I talk about the difficulty to get into crypto right now is the opportunity. When it's easy to get into crypto, everybody will do it. Billions of people will dive in. And of course, that's the real explosion. They have right now what they're calling these bull runs and bear runs and stuff, but those are with just the small amount of people that are involved with it at this point. Imagine a global movement where the 4-point-something billion people that are in the world economy right now, you add another 2 billion because of this is going to bring a lot of people into it. All of a sudden, you've got 6 billion people using digital currencies, digital collectibles, NFTs, all the stuff that goes with it. That's going to be an explosion. I think the banks know it's inevitable, but if they can pump their brakes, right? So Wyoming has issued 3 crypto banks licenses already. So they're the first ones going into it. So that's where this is starting to move from. There are actually crypto banks that are going to start. And of course, a crypto bank would have two in the development of it. It would have 2 functions. One is to handle digital assets, but it would also give them the rights to handle fiat assets. So now all of a sudden you have one entity that I can take and send my deposit of $10,000, let's say, into the entity, and they can instantly, because it's within the same system, turn it into cryptocurrency. That takes away the barrier. That creates the explosion. And again, my personal opinion is the banks they know it's inevitable that it's going to happen, but if they can slow it down, it gives them a chance to then position themselves to be those crypto banks where they can handle both of them. Imagine being a bank right now, you can only do fiat. And then there's a bank that now has an advantage over you because it can do crypto and fiat. All of a sudden you have this little bank that blows up and grows tremendously fast because it has more capability. So I think that's where the barrier is right now, or that's where it is right now. It's just to slow it down so they can position us. I mean, look at the statements of Jamie Dimon 3 years ago, right? Crypto's bad. And now they're bringing it to their most important clients, right? They have set up a fund for their wealthiest clients to buy cryptocurrency. So, 3 years ago, I'm not him. I don't know his belief system, but was that something to slow it down, or was that something that he actually believed it wasn't any good? And then somebody went in and convinced him and said, look, you're missing out on all this stuff. Yeah. I know that they always have to do what's best for their clients. And so they've made the decision that crypto is best for their clients. And so they're getting into that space.
Yeah. I mean, just one follow-up question, which is, what we know about the banking regulatory system is there's a lot of focus on risk management, compliance, et cetera. So in some respects, some of these banks probably don't have the systems in place to manage the risk.
And they won't. I own a CBD company. CBD is legal in all 50 states. Wells Fargo just shut my banking account down. They said, sorry, we don't do banking with it. Right. So there's gray area in there, even though it's legal in all 50 states. We do the non-THC stuff. Right. So we're not in that area. But when I call them, I've been banking with them for over 25 years. Right. Millions and millions of dollars through their bank. And I'm like, why? And they said, we apologize. We've just assembled in that space. There's just too much basically gray area right now between what is going on and where it is. And so there's gray area with crypto. So banks don't want to move too fast on it. They put their wealthy clients into it. That's different than doing it on a day-to-day basis. So they're going to wait. We know that there's the regulatory is starting to put some stuff together, right? They just put some rules together. They actually just hired a blockchain firm to start to look at DeFi. So they're going to start putting the rules in place. So I think what the banks want to do is slow it down until the rules can get in place, so then they can set themselves up to be that fiat to crypto side of it. They're not going to stop it. They know they're not going to stop it. It's impossible for them to do at this point. So it's just letting them position themselves.
Right. So another thing in the news is the recent surge in cryptocurrencies. And there's a lot of buzz around what is, I guess, described as the third largest cryptocurrency, Cardano.
Cardano. Yeah, Cardano's an interesting one, right? So he was, Charles Hoskins was one of the people that helped found Ethereum. He left because of some differences in opinion on what they should do, who they should take money from. And Cardano is interesting. Now, Ethereum is kind of along the lines of crypto. Build it, launch it, and see what happens, right? No testing, no, very little, that type of stuff. Charles took a different approach. He took a very methodical, very slow approach to it, right? He took it, they do peered reviews, they test, and they have other people test. And so it's taken him much longer to get to the part. So he launched it as a crypto, finally got it to where other tokens could launch. That happened a few months ago. And now the big event that's happening in September is you will finally be able to connect smart contracts to a token. So a token has value, but when a token system becomes extremely valuable is when you can do smart contracts, because then you can take that token and build other platforms. That's where DeFi was built on. PancakeSwap, Uniswap, our token, CataBolt Swap. All of these are being built on smart contracts, trustless. Me and you don't have to, I don't have to trust you to do business with you in the crypto space, right? And that's all done through smart contracts. So up till now, you have not been able to do that on Cardano. Now they've built this, they've tested it. Normally when a crypto launches something big, you're extremely worried that it's not going to work, right? I mean, it's like, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Well, we know that because of the methodicalness that Charles goes through in order to build this thing out, it's highly likely that it will function, it will work. That being said, it could be the number 2 crypto. It's number 3 right now. It's been surging. If the smart contracts operate properly, and it allows it to do it, because the problem is with Ethereum is high gas fees, $10, $20, $30. So Cardano is going to be more like a Binance Smart Chain, the BSC, which is what we built on, because the transactions are 12 cents, 14 cents, 8 cents, 7 cents. So, and also it's scalable. I believe Ethereum can do like 1,200 transactions per block. The way that Cardano is scalable, they're talking about 1 million transactions, right, per second being able to do it. So this will be the first major blockchain that has scalability, that has the speed for transactions, and it has low fees. We thought the first one that was going to get there was going to be Polkadot, which is which is another founder, Gavin Woods, that also started with Ethereum. So both these guys started with Ethereum, both of them left, and they decided to fix this. Both are POS, so they're not mining. So they're proof of stake, which means they're not dirty. They don't have the energy issues that Bitcoin has. So that's another advantage. So you have scalability with speed of transactions, you have low cost, and you have that it's not a dirty energy project. If it goes well, it could end up being, so right now, I didn't look today to see where it's at. I believe it's at about $60 billion market cap, somewhere in there. If it passes up Ethereum, you're going to be 3-4x from where it's at right now over the next little while. Now, I think it's going to take some time, right? Because projects are going to have to start launching. Can it handle the volume? Can it handle the smart contracts? So I don't think it's going to be the day it launches, right? But definitely, and it could eventually become $1 trillion cryptocurrency, right? The market cap, which would be 20x from where it's at right now. So It definitely has the potential, and it's definitely one to watch. Yeah. Also, too, is you have the ability to buy Cardano, stake it, and make a percentage return in Cardano. So those returns are very nice. Of course, the higher the price goes up, the lower the return, because you're going to pay more for it than what somebody maybe that paid a dime for it, right? Because the staking reward is based on a token being placed there, not necessarily what you paid for it, right? So it's not like, oh, you paid $1, I paid $2, we're getting different staking rewards. We're getting the same staking rewards. So that's one of the things when you find these projects that you believe in, getting involved in them early and holding, I believe is the right strategy to do, because then you have you're able to leverage up on your returns on it.
Well, I guess two things about Cardano. One is it's already up 6,000% this year. So is it, one, too late from your perspective? And then two, if it's not too late, how would one go about buying it? We've talked about the difficulty of buying crypto in the past, but one in that same bucket.
So the key is first is getting your fiat into that. No, and I don't think it's too late. And again, it is the number 3 crypto. And with this working, it could be the number 2. And ultimately, in the long run, I'm not somebody who believes that Bitcoin will be the highest valued cryptocurrency. I believe the one that has the most. Bitcoin is a store of value. I don't think it's going to go from where it's at right now down to nothing. I believe it'll go to maybe a 2 or 3 or 4. Maybe it'll hit gold and be worth $8 trillion. But the systems that are being built that allow other projects to be built on it, right? So you have when it came to the internet, you have the protocol that the internet is built on, right? That protocol really didn't make a lot of money because the businesses came along and built on top of it, but they didn't have to pay any money to the protocol, right? That was there. That's different in crypto. Basically, Cardano, Polkadot, Ethereum are those protocols, and other people are building on those. But these guys were smart. ADA, they said, we're going to get a piece of those transactions. So they're protocols that are generating revenue. So imagine the number 1 protocol on the internet, if they got a piece of every single transaction that took place on it. That's what we're talking about with Cardano and with Ethereum and with Polkadot. We're talking about the places that will get a piece of lots, millions and millions and millions of transactions that are taking place. And ultimately, if you look at the blockchain and what's going on with it, when you start talking about entertainment going over the blockchain, collectibles, finance, medical records, any type of transactions, home transactions, right? All of this data that right now is going through the internet that everybody worries about being hacked and being unsecure, all of a sudden a secure level comes to the internet. Well, then all those transactions now that are going on the regular internet start going through the blockchains. And the people that built those blockchains, Cardano, Ethereum, they're getting a transaction, a piece of all that stuff. And that's where the value will come from it. So if Cardano, again, if there's an F there, if their blockchain goes well, what they're doing, they're smart contracts, and then people start building on them. They have the initial base of the community that believes in Cardano. They have already their token that's been up and been stable for a long period of time. They now have had tokens launching on their network, but now that final piece, which is the smart contract, when that hits and when it functions properly, then it does have the potential to pass up Ethereum, which is, I don't know what Ethereum price is today, but I believe Ethereum's over 230, 240 billion right now. So Cardano, that's a 3-4x just right there. If it just catches up with it, you're going to make 300 or 400% on your money in the next 3-4 months, right? With that happening. And it has the potential to pass it. And eventually either Ethereum, ADA, or DOT is going to pass up Bitcoin.
Right.
One of those is going to pass up Bitcoin. One will be below it maybe. And then one will be the third runner up. And those look like they're the ones that are there. There's also Solano. I don't want to get too complex here. Nope. That's another chain that has some possibility that's a little bit further behind. But that's kind of where it's at with those, with Cardano.
So, and I asked about where to buy it. Do you need a Coinbase, a MetaMask?
Yeah, any of the exchanges, almost all the exchanges sell it. You know, Coinbase with their Pro, when you can trade on there. If you're with Gate.io, if you're with KuCoin, all of those sell ADA and Cardano. The hardest part is just getting your fiat into the crypto to then go ahead and purchase it.
Right. So, Peter, one of the things that we've talked about in the past is this notion of how crypto is different from stocks in terms of how its valuations. Do you want to walk us through that?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things is that with a company, when it goes public, it goes through an evaluation process, and that stock is sold up at that valuation. Now, of course, traders come in and say, no, we think it's worth more because it has more potential in the future, right? Crypto is done differently. During the 2018, there were ICOs, and those ICOs brought in millions of dollars to these projects. The projects that are going now are not trying to raise millions of dollars. They're raising hundreds of thousands of dollars, bringing their cryptos out at a pretty low price. So one of them that did this was a project called Refinable. What happened with them is the people who founded the company, they did an IDO, and they sold them at a penny and 2 cents and 3 cents a token. They got to the point where they were ready to release it to the general public, and they did that through something called PancakeSwap, which is a decentralized platform to launch. They took the tokens they were going to put and they put them on for 3 cents each. Now they know that this token is going to be $1, $2 by the end of that day. A chance for someone to make, 30, 40, 50, 60 times their money that day in it. And the reason why they do that is what crypto has understood is that your community is influence, it's power, it's your customers, it's your base that you're building your business on. And that's something that I've been looking at for the last 6 years, is how strong a brand is its fan base, right? The people that believe in it. I mean, we have Amazon come to the house 6, 7 times a day. Why? Because we always get our packages, right? And so we're Amazon customers. It's hard to get us to go shop somewhere else. Occasionally we'll get it from other places, but the first place my wife thinks of to go is Amazon, right? Because they built that relationship. They've built that. So the cryptocurrency companies understand that that is the key to success. That's why Amazon is where it's at today. So what they've done is they said, well, then let's get our tokens in the hands of people at lower prices. And then they make these great returns, and then they become, people that believe in the token they're going to hold. So now you have these strong holders. Cardano's been able to do that, right? Ethereum has a lot of holders that believe in what they're doing. And so in the refinable situation, and that's what you see behind me here is CataBolt Swap. It's one of the problems that we found in the marketplace that we decided to solve. I want to share a screenshot right here. Let me see. Oh, can you make it where I can share?
Sure. I think I can.
One of the problems that we found getting into this space is bot manipulation upon launch. And so with Refinable, when they put those tokens on for 3 cents, they thought, oh, we're going to give our customers an early chance to acquire our token, and they'll be customers for life. The problem is that a bot manipulated the situation, came in, and let's see here, pull this up, came in. So this is Refinable. Bot makes $11 million US in a few hours. So what happened was the project said, we're gonna reward our fans with a low token price, and they put it on the exchange. The bot came in and bought them all up at 3 cents each, 4 or 5 cents, 6 cents, right? As it started to go up, because as they started to make their purchases. Then what they did is they proceeded to sell it back to all of Refinable's fans. I was one of those. I was on there because this is Mr. Beast that you see right here. He's a huge YouTuber. Okay. First YouTuber, they said, that's built $1 billion fortune. He was supporting and backing the project. So, massive numbers of people were going to come into this project. So it had a very high probability of shooting up. And this is an NFT project. Well, what happened was, and some of my friends, I almost got caught up in it, but I canceled my purchases before they went through. The bot bought it at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cents, got up to $2, $3 where was the market price, started selling it off. He sold it for $2.30 to $7 a piece. So here are some excited fans going in and paying $7 for these tokens. Within an hour after that happened, the price settled back down to $2. That token right now is down to 22 cents.
Wow.
Now, so the project was hurt by it because its biggest fans, people that believed in it, were hurt. The fans, the investors were harmed because now all of a sudden they have an asset they paid $7 for that's 22 cents. This thing, they've got to do tremendous stuff for it to come back. And so being that we've gotten caught up in a lot of these, we created CataBolt Swap, which is a premium swapping platform that will help. It does not allow bots to come in and put in bids. So you're not going to have an artificial driven. It will look at the actual demand for the token, price it on that demand, and then from there we'll go to Pancake Swap and put that together. So that's one of the problems that we're looking at solving, is stopping this, because I love the crypto space and I want it to grow. And I know the only way for it to have its full potential is for us to get hundreds of millions of more people, billions more people in that. And in order to do that, we've got to begin to lower the amount of people that are going to manipulate it on these launches. Because if you get hurt, I have some people that I said, oh yeah, get this token. They go in, they buy it too high because a bot manipulates it. The price comes down, they get out of crypto and they don't want to get back in because their first experience was so terrible with it. And so that's what we built CataBolt Swap for, was to prevent that and get that and make it to where that doesn't happen to people on a daily basis when these projects launch.
Right. So Peter, we've got about a 3 minutes left. Any update on TruBadger?
We are doing extremely well. We continue to. So CataBolt Swap is powered by TruBadger. So it's one of the projects that we're launching. We'll be launching a couple of more. TruBadger is here to help solve the biggest problems in crypto, to make it to where people are not getting hurt in the crypto space, but that are able to come in and make a profit, right? Get a return, be in real businesses, and not get involved in the scams and the craziness that's going on in this space. It's so we're doing extremely well. We're about to break 5,000 holders. Very exciting. That's a milestone in tokens in this space. Is once you hit 5,000 token holders, you're a solid project and you're here to kind of stay. Kind of like a business, when you hit 4 years, right? It's like, okay, might be a safe business. They've made it past that 4-year mark. And that's what the 5,000 token holders are. So we're really excited about what we're doing. I know we're working with FinStream on, promoting and marketing, to grow the crypto space. So we really appreciate working with you guys. And thank you for giving us an opportunity to share the crypto space with so many listeners and new people to the space.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Peter. It's always a pleasure chatting with you and covering not only the ongoings of the day, but also educating our viewers about all things crypto.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Well, thanks.